Oh, hi! Welcome back to our vegan channel. I've got a try it recipe for you today.
Ooh.
So, I'm always scouring YouTube, Instagram, other stuff, cookbooks, because I like to get inspired by other chefs, other developers, other YouTubers. So I came upon a recipe for gluten-free pizza crust. And that is a very elusive animal out there that I'm looking for all the time. And this one looked like it had a lot of promise. So this is a recipe from somebody else called Chew on Vegan on YouTube. And let's get started. I'm going to leave the link in the info box below for her original recipe. And I only changed one thing today, and I changed it not because I wanted to, but because I had to. It calls for almond flour, and I'm allergic to tree nuts, so I couldn't use the almond flour. So I'm hoping that my substitution will be okay, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. This is going to be done in the mixer. If you have a hand mixer, it's probably going to be okay to use that. But I wouldn't recommend doing this by hand unless you were Popeye with, you know, the big guns. Mm-hmm. Because you have to mix it for 6 minutes. So, and
it's a lot of mixing.
Integral, supposedly, to the recipe. Allegedly. I don't know, because I haven't done this recipe yet. But it seemed pretty simple and doable.
Let's give it a try.
Let's go for it. So it uses the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 baking flour, substitute, you know, for gluten flour. So I'm putting in 1 pound. I used my scale to measure it because my daddy, who was a certified baker, would always tell me, measure your ingredients with a scale. It's much more accurate when you're baking, especially you have to take into consideration humidity and everything. So I measured out exactly 16 ounces, that which you know as 1 pound of flour. And instead of the almond flour, I'm going to be using some organic buckwheat flour. But if you don't have a problem with, why are these so hard to open? If you don't have a problem with almond flour, go for it. This one I'm not measuring by weight. I'm going to wing it with a half cup. And then we have some salt, some baking powder, some yeast, you know, the instant one, and some psyllium husk. That is basically just fiber. That's what is in Metamucil and stuff like that. Gluten-free flours and baked products are so highly refined. Mm-hmm. You got to put something back in there, otherwise it's just going to be bleh. Mm. So we're going to put all those things in, and then we're going to take it over to the mixer. Alright, so first we're just going to mix it, because the psyllium husk, please do not just plop that into water, because it's going to immediately make like a gel, and it's not going to distribute through your baked products. So this is very important to give this a thorough mix first. Alright, so that's pretty well distributed. I have some no sugar added applesauce here because we're going to be making this oil free. I don't know what the original recipe was, but I didn't want to use oil. So I went with her recipe of 1/4 cup of applesauce. So we're using about half of this. And then we have an S-ton of water. This is 2.5 cups of slightly warmer than room temperature water. Don't go much more than 100 degrees because you're going to kill the yeast. So we're going to just pour in a little bit to get started so we don't have like a flour cloud. Whoop, a little bit. And then we're going to slowly pour in the rest as we mix it. And like I said, this is going to have to mix for 6 minutes. That's part of the aeration to get the fluffiness. And I just want to let you know that this is going to be pretty loosey-goosey. So don't think you've done something wrong if it's like, wow, this is not going to be bread. It's going to be loose. See you in 6 minutes. All right, it's been mixing for 6 minutes. We're going to turn it off. Yeah, the buckwheat is giving it like this purple lavender tinge, but
which is kind of fun.
It is kind of fun. If you use the almond flour, though, yours is going to be like the same color as pizza dough, but I'm a little weird and I kind of like this a lot, so I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to scrape this off of the beater. I'm going to scrape down the sides, and I'm going to put a dish towel over it and let it rise for 1.5 hours.
Okay.
So we'll be back. All right, it's been 1.5 hours, and you can see that it's puffed up quite a bit. So this is going to make 2 pizza crusts. And one thing that they didn't do in the video, that as far as I could see, was they didn't let it do a second rise after it was formed into the crust shape before they baked it. So I'm going to divide this in 2. I'm going to put a little flour on my parchment paper first because I don't want this to stick, because this is sticky AF. And I'm just going to try and get half of it on there as best as I can tell. I mean, if it's not perfect, who cares, right? It's just, you know. Ooh, that looks nice.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic here.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah. So I guess that's probably about half. It's probably going to make like a 12-inch pie. So I'm just going to very carefully spread it out as best as I can. And make it as round as I can. Although, you know, you don't have to do a round shape if you don't want to. You can do a Sicilian pie. This is actually spreading out pretty nicely.
Yeah, pretty nicely.
So I'm pleasantly surprised with this. Once I get this in the right shape, I'm going to just put this in the oven with no heat on and let it rise for maybe 1, 2, even 3 hours. I want maximum lift on my pizza. I want it to be light and fluffy, and I want it to have a nice crispy outside. So I'm going to do this. Going in the oven, then we're going to be back. All right, so here's the 2 pizza doughs. You can see that they've puffed up quite a bit, just hanging out. Let's see, how long has it been? It's probably been about 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours. I would say more like, yeah, I guess 2.5. I have the toaster oven over here preheating to 325 degrees, and it just says, I'm ready. So I'm going to cook these one at a time at 325 because I don't want to crowd up the oven too much. So they go in for 45 minutes. So you pre-bake those at 45 minutes each, and then take them out, let them cool off, and then they'll be ready for the toppings. All right, our crusts are out of the oven. And I have to say,
looks really good.
These have already exceeded my expectations. They're very puffy. They're not hard like a turd. They're like really good. I'm very excited to put the toppings on these. So I'm just going to do usual, you know, cheese pizza toppings. I have one of my favorite sauces here, the Rayos. My top 2 sauces are the Rayos and the Paisana. I won't use anything else if they're on sale. So we're just going to put a little of the, you know, I don't like it too wet. So we're just going to put a little of the sauce on here. And I have to say, I've got my toaster oven, which I do all of my pizzas in, preheating to 450 because that's as hot as it gets. And I would normally use a pizza stone in there and heat it up with the pizza stone, but since this is already pre-cooked or partially pre-cooked, you really don't need it because you don't have to worry about soggy bottom because it's already cooked. And I do have to say, there was some shrinkage. When I put this in, it was all the way to the end, so it was about 2 inches of shrinkage all around, you know, diameter-wise, but that's okay. We knew that was going to happen because it was very wet. So I don't have any mozzarella, but Maddie's favorite
I love a cheddar
pizza
pizza.
cheese is cheddar, so we're going to go with the cheddar. Did I just divulge secret information?
No. I'm okay with
well-known?
people knowing that, yes.
Okay. So as soon as my oven clicks and says, oh, I'm ready to accept, we're going to put this in for about 10 minutes at 450. If it looks a little anemic, I'm going to put it under the broiler for a minute or two just to get that nice caramelization on the top, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. So, yeah, we'll check back when this is all cooked and ready to be tasted. All right, here are the pizzas. They're cold
Looking
as
good.
ice, but I'm willing to sacrifice.
I'm always willing to sacrifice for pizza.
Yeah, we're going to VillainCon, but first we're going to taste this pizza.
All right, let's do it. It looks wonderful.
Okay. Well,
It is. It's wonderful.
it's not hot because look at the side there. Wait, we're not in focus. There we go.
It looks legit.
Yeah, it's got the air bubbles. It's got,
I mean, it holds together really nicely, as you
Yeah.
can see.
The lady who made the recipe video also said it doesn't get hard like a brick when you put
Yeah.
it in the refrigerator overnight either.
That's very nice.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
I
not
think you'll be quite happy with this.
gluten-free?
Dang,
Okay.
this cheese too, though. Look,
Is it slapping?
slapping.
What do you think of that crust?
It's good.
It's
Very tasty.
it's slightly buckwheat. That's why it's dark like that. Because the original recipe had almond flour. I know, you can't have it. We can have a little piece of crust. Let's see what Bobby thinks. What about Minnie?
Minnie.
Dad, I want some.
Oh,
Whoa.
you get it, Minnie?
What'd you think?
Oh, she didn't get it. Hold on.
All right.
Is it really?
Did you get it?
Okay. Well, there you have it. It took a long time,
I don't know if she got it or not.
but it was worth it. Don't you think?
Yes.
I think you'll be. Why don't you try it?
Okay.
Hello.
I think this would also be good to make the crust before you put the toppings on, and then you could freeze it
That one's
even.
thicker.
Ooh, this is thicker. This is a Sicilian.
Oh, wow. Bowie, please.
Wow.
Really
Okay.
good.
I envisioned some olives on there.
Ooh.
Some antipasta olives.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't go there with you.
Wow, that's nice. All right, highly, highly, highly recommend.
Yeah.
The amount of time
It's worth
consuming,
it.
It's worth it. All right, there you go. Where's Minnie?
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Oh.
I'm gonna eat this now. So.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Let us know if you give this a try. And until next time, much love.